Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Average Baseball Show with the King Source. That's me. We're going to get going here. Take a look at our agenda. You can see right there on your screen. I've changed the format a little bit for this one. You'll see it as we go through this a little bit. Keeping an eye on that. Nothing. We have a lot of subjects to cover here. Then we'll get to that question and answer session, and then we'll wrap up the live at that point. So we do have stuff to get through. So let's... What the heck just happened? There we go. And that's the problem with the new format, but you're having all kinds of issues right now. There we go. MLB's doing a major crackdown on sign stealing and foreign substances. I mean, a major crackdown. There we are. You can see that they're really cracking down here. They suspended 4 players today alone, including a Red Sox player admitted he got it from David Ortiz. They said he can prove that David Ortiz has given peds to all of his teammates since he joined the Red Sox. See here that they made proposals to the players' unions about performance-enhancing drugs, sign stealing, and foreign substances. All 3 of them. You can see on the other side there from Britt Gabrielli, they made several new proposals about tackling cheating, and it covers everything. This is big. We're about to see a lot of suspensions. I'm telling you, we're about to see a lot of suspensions. When they start cracking down like this, suspension's going to skyrocket. We're going to see a lot of suspensions popping up. Keep that in mind. Get ready. Get ready. I know what to expect mostly, but there's still unknowns in all of this. So suspensions are coming. I will get to baseball games maybe postponed in the next few days later on in the show. But another part of this cheating is, look what Josh Reddick has the goal to say. Talk about the sign stealing here. Buster only points out what Carlos Beltran said. Quote, I didn't stop it the way no one stopped it. It's not taking responsibility, as Tony Kemp did. And even as one of the 2017 Astros youngest players, he refused to participate because he thought it was wrong. He was one of the few that did not participate. But Josh Reddick, who was named by 8 teammates, that Reddick and Altuve were the ringleaders of the sign stealing. And notice Josh Reddick hit impossibly well when he got to the Astros. Has the goal to say he and Altuve did not do it. They were named by 8 teammates. My name as having done it. Beltran named them both, said they were the ringleaders with him. Out and out lies by Josh Reddick. That shows you the kind of cover-up going on with this sign stealing. So it's a big story. I don't know why it's popping up so much right now. The sign stealing with the Yankees, everything's popping up right now. I don't know, but it has been. So let's kind of move on. I was right again. How many times have I been right this year, guys? Pujols to the Cardinals. I made the connection first. I said they were talking first. So work right there. On the left of your screen, you can see it. I was the first to say the Cardinals were talking to Albert Pujols. And he signed with the Cardinals. Gotta start listening to the King Source. Just saying. You gotta start listening to King Source. Are the Yankees and other teams cheating to get better? David Garcia has suspicious fastball speed. There's others that do. There are others that are hitting too well, including Kyle Gashioka. Is there cheating going on? Well, we just saw 4 suspensions today, and I can confirm there's 4 new PEDs. I thought it was 3. No, there are 4 new PEDs and steroids that do not show up in the PEDs test. One they caught today. Suspended 3 players where they figured out how to test for it. That's why a lot of suspensions are coming as far as the PEDs go. Outside that, I'm not 100% sure. I can't say it's not natural for a player like David Garcia to also get a spike in fastball speed as he has. Same with Clark Schmidt. That's not natural for a grown man. It's impossible for a grown man to just increase fastball speed 5-6 miles per hour as they both did. There's no way for a grown man to do that without steroids. Or HGH, which is a performance-enhancing drug. It's not a steroid, but it is a performance-enhancing drug. And there's about 18 players I've been looking at baseball that they're playing too well around the sport. And I think they're cheating somehow. 4 are pitchers, by the way. 4 are pitchers. Right there. And I just mentioned 2 of them, but there's 4 others that aren't Yankees as well. So there's a lot of fishiness going on around baseball. Players playing too well, but let's see if it translates into the season. If it translates into the season, that's where we're going to have a lot more issues, okay? That's where we're going to have a ton more issues if it translates into the season. And not wearing jersey pants covering the knee violates MLB uniform policy and should be punished justly. This is fact. MLB uniform policy says they should be in uniform following standard policies. The policy is the bottom of the knee is the strike zone, so therefore the jersey on pants should be the bottom of the knee. So by rule, if you have your jersey above the knees, you're out of uniform. And this should be ejected. That's a mandatory ejection. So this one needs to be attacked more, and I'm not attacking Cameron Maben. I know he came up with it. Not attacking him, not hating on him. I just think these are the rules, and they need to be enforced. And I'm an umpire. I'll be doing 2 games tomorrow, 2 games Thursday, and 2 games Saturday. I even have 3 games scheduled the following week already, and they're probably going to end up with 6 or more that week as well. I know what I'm talking about. I umpire games all the time. This is an auto eject. I don't know why players get away with this. They shouldn't. Okay? Question here is, what's up with the Yankees cheating? Comes out of nowhere. Carlos Beltran himself, that quote is getting misquoted. I'm going to take a minute to cover this before I forget it, but he flat out said, no, the Yankees did not sign Steele. I used their camera technique where they were using cameras to see what the pitch was, so the batter would kind of have an idea on the breakup next at bat. But no, the Yankees never stole signs. The Astros did. That was something the Astros invented and about 18 different teams copied. The Yankees were not one of them. The FBI investigated, said they could find no evidence the Yankees stole signs, found evidence of 18 teams. So, come on, there we go. Marwin Gonzalez is going to make the Yankees roster. He will be a bench player. This is fact. Aaron Boone would not rule it out today. This time of year, he rules stuff out. They're not going to make it. He rules them out. He is not going to. Feel good story for baseball. He could get comeback player of the year if he plays well enough. Would make the Red Sox or Blue Jays too happy or Astros. But yes, it does look like Marwin Gonzalez is going to be a bench player for the Yankees with Nick, what's his name? Tim LeCastro, Gleyber Torres, and Trevino. I can't remember Trevino's first name. Jose Trevino. Looks like it'll be the Yankees bench. Hunter Green stunningly has made the Reds rotation. He'll be the number 3 starter for the Cincinnati Reds. He replaces Sonny Gray. That's a stunner. Jake Lamb did not make the Dodgers. Looks like he's going to. He did not. Big surprise, he did not. Other surprises. How about J.P. Sears making the Yankees? That's a stunner. The Tigers, their top 2 prospects in the bigs. The Mariners, top outfield prospect in the bigs. There's lots of these surprises. Get excited. A lot of young talent we're going to see. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Once all these guys get in here, and all this young talent gets in here. Cashman has been attacking Hal the last couple of months. I'm getting a little bit somber here because Cashman is ending his career. DJ LeMahieu will be in the starting lineup, period. Period. They have to DH Josh Donaldson. DJ's going to be in that lineup. He'll be leadoff man. Keep that one in mind. We'll agree with the sports guy forever there. But getting back to this. 5 times now this offseason, Cashman has thrown Hal under the bus. Cashman made the statement yesterday to Buster Olney. Quote, there's 2 big free agents I would have signed if it was up to me. Hal wouldn't let me. End quote. That was on ESPN on Buster Olney's show. Don't remember if it was his ESPN radio show or it was one on regular TV or not, but yes. He been throwing Hal under the bus like crazy. Sorry, I was checking with the source there. There's nothing. Just told me another trade's coming tomorrow. It's already set up. I'm not going to go into it. But before that, he had said Hal had handcuffed him. 5 times now this offseason, Cashman's come out throwing Hal under the bus. Hal is the whole issue. The whole issue. Wow. I think he's trying to get Hal to sell. I really do. I think Cash is trying to force Hal out. We'll see, but that's what I feel is coming. That's Cash just keeps throwing the guy under the bus. How long can Hal not sell with Cash for throwing under the bus constantly? There's a good question for you. Is Cody Bellinger purposely doing incredibly poor this spring? I asked this question. And this is for Dodgers fans. If our Dodgers fans are in here, please give me your answer. Because the swings I'm seeing from Bellinger are purposeful swing and misses. Now, what are those? That's where you see the batter purposely swing as hard as he can, knowing he's not going to make contact with the ball. When if he takes a controlled swing, he rockets the ball into a gap. Gallo does that a ton. Now, Gallo's more inverted because that's what he claims is his style of swing. With Bellinger, it looks on purpose. Looks like he's purposely doing bad as if he's trying to set up a huge season by not playing well spring training. So there's a question for Dodgers fans. Leave an answer in the comments if you see this video afterwards. I'll get to that one. And Justin, you're a Dodgers fans. Why don't you answer this question right now? And that's what I was going to do in the notes. Dodgers fans said, no, he's just broken. That could be. If he is so out of sync mentally, we don't think he can hit the ball, it would cause these bad swings where it looks like it's an on-purpose miss. So that's a good point there. Dodgers lineup is not the best in baseball. Once you get past about the top 5, there's not much there. The runs kind of go downhill. They don't even have that great of a DH right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers try to get Stanton at this point, so they have a DH. We'll see. If this would work, there we are. Ketel Marte inks a brain-dead extension on the D-backs part on the team perspective. Here's the specs on that. 5-year, $76 million deal. What the crap are the D-backs doing paying him that much? This guy's missed 80% of his games last 3 years, and they're giving him that kind of an extension. Yeah, with A.J. Pollock gone, Justin is right. That's what kind of lowered the Dodgers lineup down. They still got good hitters in there, but they're not the kind of scary ones. As Pollock was, where Pollock was having 3 or 1 games last year and led the Dodgers. But Ketel Marte, what on earth are the D-backs doing? That's over $15 million a year to a guy that's missed 80% of his games. What the crap are the D-backs doing here? It gives me a headache. And if you look at it, it's over $25 million per year in 2023 and 2024. Why? O'Neill Cruz got demoted. That's from the Pirates AAA reporter. Why? This guy played in the bigs last year. He starred in spring training. What are the Pirates doing? They can't get a year extra control. What are the Pirates doing demoting him? I'm serious. What are the Pirates doing demoting him here? Another head scratcher. Chris Sale is done. He joins Jake DeGrom, mentioned him earlier this week, and probably not pitching at all this year. Major injury for Chris Sale. There was the announcement from Boston Strong. That's one of their top podcasters. And my tweet where I called it out, I knew something was happening there. Notice no Chris Sale in Red Sox camp yet? Remember what I've been saying? I said I did not believe he was healthy. I said I did not think he would start the first month of the season. I called it out perfectly. And then Chris Sale will not make a trip to New York. Not only that, he's got a fractured rib. A fractured rib on a pitcher is usually a season ender even before the season. Reason being, it takes at least 3 months for that to heal to where you don't have pain. But then you've got to get used to the cartilage that's now in different spots and the muscles that move different. Where you've got to re-loosen up, which can take another couple of months. Even if he gets best case scenario, we're probably talking end of June before Chris Sale gets back. Because he cannot come back till May 3rd at the earliest, because that's 6-day IL. We're probably talking end of June at the earliest for Chris Sale gets back. So 2 big aces, DeGrom and now Chris Sale are gone. Red Sox are no longer threatening the AL East. Yeah, and that's a good point there. DeGrom, 33 injury-prone mileage, and Scherzer, 37 dead arm, hammy mileage. Pitching 9 innings spring training game may not have been the smartest hit after all. No, it was not. No, it was not. That was brain dead by the Mets. And Scherzer's another one that's hurt. We don't know if he's going to play at all, actually. They're still trying to figure out, can he go on opening day? And I think this type of muscle injury is going to linger. It's not when you just get over. So, big-time pitchers getting injuries, but the Yankees are healthy. The Yankees' whole rotation outside Domingo Germán is healthy, and I think Germán is gone. I don't think he'll ever pitch the Yankees again. I think that's why he's on 6-day IL. Moving on. The Yankees are going to appeal the release of the letter to protect the MLB. Yes, I just said to protect the MLB. There's the tweet by Evan Drellich. He's a great reporter, great follow. Go follow him. Go follow him. Yeah, and that's it. Sad. That Nathan Eovaldi Red Sox ace shows how bad that rotation is. Bad rotation. That offense is not going to be anywhere near as good as people think. The Red Sox offense will not be very good with Jackie Bradley in center now, not Hunter Renfroe. It's going to take a huge step back, just like the Blue Jays will, because Matt Chapman, is nowhere near the player Simeon is. So both those offenses will take a step back. But getting back to this, I've seen the letter. With a few people that were sent to look it over, there's nothing in it that proves anything against the Yankees. It proves 8 teams stole signs. I'm not going to leak any of the teams. You know 2 of them. I'm not going to leak the rest. I've been asked not to. It's part of the agreement to see it. But it proves the Yankees did nothing. So they're trying to protect the MLB, because if this came out, about 140 players get banned from the game immediately. Yeah. So the Yankees trying to protect the MLB there. Keep that one in mind. The Yankees have made a couple of trades. There's a couple of them. They made 3 trades in the last 3 days, believe it or not. Any chance Chris Bassett struggles moving from a small market with no pressure to win to a large market in win now mode? Yes, a major chance. Major chance. Lots of pitchers fall flat on their face when that happens. Look at Chris Archer when he left the Pirates and went to a contender. Fell flat on his face. It was the Rays. He went back to the Rays, but yeah. lots of pitchers go, when they finally get pressure on him, just collapse. Sonny Gray collapsed. Now, I do think Larry Rothschild's a big problem with Sonny Gray with the Yankees, a major problem. But still, he collapsed. It happens a lot. So a major chance Chris Bassett struggles. So the Yankees here, they traded Joely Rodriguez to the Mets. They made a trade with the Mets to get Miguel Castro. He's a 6'7" fireballer. He's hit 105 miles an hour before. Miguel Castro has. So keep an eye on that arm, and he can try to throw it harder because he's only going for an inning a game. That's why DeGrom got hurt. He's trying to throw 100 miles an hour for 6-7 innings a game. You can't do that. That's unnatural. Even throwing 100 miles an hour is unnatural. So the Tanner Houck is in the Red Sox rotation. We'll see if he's any good. They signed the former Yankee. What's his name? Paxton, James Paxton. I don't think he's going to be that good for him. I don't think he'll stay on the field. They signed another veteran. Can't remember his name, but a very subpar rotation. They needed Chris Sale to be any good. And then also the Yankees made the trade to acquire Jose Trevino for Robert Alstrom and Albert Abreu. Abreu is gone. The Yankees finally traded Albert Abreu, getting 100 miles an hour. That's a stunner. They got Castro to replace him, but yeah, that's a stunner. Rich Hill and Walker were the other two veterans the Red Sox got. I don't think they'll be any good. I really don't. And Rich Hill is actually hurt. He got hurt in a game a couple of weeks ago. And Eduardo Rodriguez went to the Tigers. Keep an eye on the Tigers. They could be in it for the 7th wild card. They could be good enough. We'll see. And that's not the only trade. They did that one today. David McKay. He's a 6'3", 6'4" incher. He can hit 100 miles an hour. Needs control training. That's Matt Blake specialty. So kind of keep an eye on this one. So that is the program for today. Got through it about 20 minutes. A lot faster than I thought I would. I thought it would take a half hour. But yeah, with Chris Sale out, the Red Sox rotation is crap. They'll be lucky to get 10 wins out of a starter now. Because Nathan Eovaldi is... His fastball speed's down a little bit, believe it or not. His fastball speed is down a little bit. Nathan Eovaldi, I loved as a Yankee because he had a natural pitching motion. It actually looked fun. But since he's left, it looks off if he's on PEDs. And when any player goes to Red Sox, he gets better. Think PEDs. Think PEDs. MLB had the flexibility to have the MLB trade deadline between July 28th to August 3rd. And the new CBA before setting on August 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern. So there's your update on that. The trade deadline will be at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern on August 2nd this year. That just popped out. That was Bob Nightingale, but with CBA stuff and MLB rules, stuff like that, he is as accurate as they come. When it comes to player moves, he's not. So it will be August 2nd this year on the trade deadline. So just drop that, and I just got a text confirming that. It's clearing out. There we go. Let's pop back over here. Cash consideration is going to be elite for Tampa Bay. Yeah, it could be. They could use that to go get some player, like a minor leaguer or something. That's a pretty good point. Dodgers going to definitely make a move at the trade deadline after trading Pollock, aren't they? Not going to win a World Series with that back into the rotation. They also need another big bat to replace Pollock. I don't think they need another big bat. They need one of their bats to come through, to fully develop like Gavin Lux and be that 25 to 30 homer per year player. There's not going to be a lot of big bats out there. A prediction made by Buster Olney is the left-handed bat to be a premium at the trade deadline this year. Everybody looking for him. If that's the case, why is Michael Conforto still sitting in free agency? I do think the Dodgers are definitely making a trade, though, by the August 2nd trade deadline to get a starter. I definitely think so. I think the Yankees will, too. And it will not be Sean Manaea. He's gone. Yeah, Albert Abreu and Joely Rodriguez be gone. It's weird. They're pretty good relievers. They were very good with the Yankees last year. Now they're gone. So that one's a little weird. I'll definitely agree there. Another one, and Miguel Andujar. He is currently on the Yankees' 28-man roster with 28 players remaining. Now the Yankees could make a little more moves around. They just added a pitcher to the 40-man. Marwin Gonzalez is going to get a spot. But Manny Banuelos did not make it in a surprise for the Yankees. The Cubs sent some guys down today that were surprises as well. Caught me off guard who the Cubs sent down. We pull this up today. Two players I thought would make it were locks, including Adam Warren and, well, not Adam Warren, Jonathan Holder. Jonathan Holder's their best reliever. Why'd he get sent down? They also sent down Robert Gisselman, another one of their top relievers. They sent down Stephen Broughton, another one of their top relievers. And Steven Gonsalves, okay, yeah, and Demaro. Ydamar Vargas, okay, I get those two, but the others, it just surprises the Cubs sent those guys down. So updates there for you. Let's see. Andy Ibanez for the Rangers jacked one today. We'll see what kind of a season he has. How about this one? Edwin Rios will be on the Dodgers opening day roster for Dodgers fans right there. Dave Roberts just announced that. Dodger Insider is tweeting it, but Dave Roberts himself announced that. That's a little bit of a surprise. He could be the A.J. Pollock replacement if he can actually prove himself. I believe Edwin Rios bats left-handed as well, so it'd be a little bit of an advantage there. I'm going to check that real quick. And by the way, I did fix something on my computer. Found the RAM settings were off, so only use about half the RAM. Running a lot better now. Yes, he does bat left-handed. I was right. So he could be the A.J. Pollock replacement. By the way, from the King Source, Judge has agreed to an extension. They're working to finalize. Do they get this finalized and done? We'll see, but they are working on it. Yeah, I think everybody saw Rios or some other young guy making it after Pollock was traded. It became pretty apparent. Toronto, New York Yankees, very right-handed. Yeah, they are. They are. The Blue Jays have no left-handed power bat at all. That is going to hurt them. Right-handed pitchers just feast on them. That will hurt them. Yankees at least have left-handed power bats, and 2 of them. If Hicks comes through, it'll be 3. So keep an eye on that. Yes, I already talked about the David McKay acquisition. Hi, AJ. Yeah, Rios was right around 100 last year. It was not good. We'll see if he plays better this year. Pitt, Cincy, Oakland, going to be massive fillers at the deadline. Cleveland, too. For Oakland, who do they have left to trade? Montez and Murphy, that'd be about it. So I'm not sure big sellers, but they will be sellers. They traded almost everybody already. With Cincinnati, it just depends where they're at. The only player they really have that attracts people is Luis Castillo now. It'll just depend where they're at. And that's a good point. I was hoping you would bring that up, AJ. Yes, Steven Ridings is hurt. He pitched twice, but it was bullpens. It was not in a game. He looked good, but something looked off as well. I think he has a 60-day IL, comes back in June, and then makes the Yankees pen at that point. So, for Pitt, the Pirates, Reynolds is really the only one anybody would want because Brian Hayes is going to be signing an extension. So at least Reynolds only player that really attracts anybody with Pittsburgh. Cleveland, maybe. It depends. Do they flop or not? They added some big pieces. Can they compete? If they're in the wild card hunt, they're not going to sell. If they're not in the wild card hunt, no holds barred. No holds barred on them. So, and by the way, the Indians or Guardians, I think is their name, and Jose Ramirez are working on an extension, a 10-year extension, so he may not be going anywhere. Keep an eye on that one. And if you are just joining, remember I'll be umpiring 2 games tomorrow, 2 Thursday and 2 Saturday. The 2 on Saturday could delay the live Saturday. Keep that in mind. I will be umpiring a lot of baseball games this week. 4 varsity, 2 junior varsity, and at least 1 freshman. I think it might be 2 freshmen, 1 junior varsity, a couple varsity. I already talked about him. Within the next 2 days, we'll see a lot of the opening roster spots set. Something I want you to be alert to, okay? Over the next 2 days, we're going to see a lot of players DFA'd and teams grab them on the cheap. Keep an eye on that. Cleveland added 2 outfielders, not outfielders, an infielder, an outfielder, and a pitcher. Big pieces for them. If you know their history, they're big pieces for them to add. Put it that way. And a good thing with the Cleveland, they lost one of their outfielders. I think it was Framber Reyes. He got injured. So he'll be probably out till May. I cannot, per rules of Idaho high schools, stream myself umpiring them. It's recruiting stuff, so. Justin Upton, that's a good one. That's a good one. I've heard a few teams were after him. He already has been talked about several things. The Yankees checked in on him. The Red Sox checked in on him. The Orioles checked in on him. The Orioles can offer more than anybody because they need bats. They need anybody. So with Upton's going to depend on what he wants. I can see an NL team that needs a DH going after him. He's not an everyday position player anymore. He's a DH part-time fielder type. So Yankees makes a lot of sense because he'd be a bench bat. where you just get to come in and pinch it every once in a while, maybe DH every once in a while. So it makes sense there. But I'm going to guess an NL team, they're just looking for a DH. Keep the Dodgers in mind. Maybe Padres are looking for one bat. We'll see. I don't like Josh Johnson leading off at all. I do not like him leading off at all. I plan to be live opening day. It's a great question, AJ. If it's Thursday, now we'll get to this point. Both Thursday and Friday look like rainouts already. The forecast looks that bad. Friday, they do have a window. They could probably get a game in if they waited a little bit. But Thursday, it just doesn't look like they'll get the game in on Thursday. So I umpire two games Thursday, so it'll be easier for me if it's Friday. But I will try to be live for the game. I could be live for the game Thursday, but I would have to be leaving right after that game and run out to the ballpark up in Rexburg to umpire the games. So, new rules in baseball. NL got DHs one. I hate that. That rule is uniquenesses between the leagues. DJ is going to lead off. It'll be DJ LeMahieu. I think they'll mix a few other guys in like Hicks, but yeah, it will be DJ. I have heard 4 different reporters believe Chris Sale's injury is fake for some reason. Like Sale's just refusing to play. I'm not going to confirm that. I'm just going to say I've heard that. Remember, the Red Sox are about to get hammered by suspensions and such. So keep in mind on that. Other rules now in place. You can trade draft picks. We've seen a couple traded. First time in history of baseball you can trade draft picks. The draft got moved. It's still around the All-Star game. Got moved like a day or two. The deadline got moved a little bit. The shift will be banned effective 2023 season. The shift is gone. I don't fully know what the will be, but I do know you cannot have more or less than 4 infielders or more or less than 3 outfielders. So that'll be set. If Hicks could bat for average, I think he'd lead off too. I think he'd be a great leadoff man being a switch hitter if he could bat for average. Doubleheaders are 9 innings. The Ghost Runner is illegally forced back. Should not be. They're legally forcing it back. The least they could do with that is like the 15th inning. The latest on Devers, he has an extension offer and in hand. So does Xander Bogaerts. Red Sox are trying to extend them. As for injuries or suspensions, not hearing much. So it's quiet right now. Yeah, I just talked about the Ghost Runner there. Caribou said Sale was comfortable playing when players aren't required to be vaccinated. I don't think it's anything to do with that. With cases at an all-time low where 18 states haven't even had a case in over a week, I don't believe it's COVID. I think it's Sale knows he's being suspended or something. Or he just doesn't want to be around the team. So, on Devers, he's one of the players connected to the sign stealing and PEDs for the Red Sox. Remember the Red Sox player suspended today? He said he could prove 90% of players at least who played for the Red Sox for the last 20 years, notice that date, 20 years were on PEDs. That from Red Sox that was suspended today. Yeah, it's Danny Santana. And remember, he got off to an unbelievably good start through April. Then all of a sudden the Red Sox stopped playing him. And then knocked him out of sync, and then they released him. So, yeah, the Doubleheaders back to 9 innings, which should be, they should not be paid to play anything. So, but yeah, on that injury, a teammate and he were playing with the weed. He got hit in the crotch and it bruised one of his balls. He is looking like he'll be fine for opening day on that injury. And he has an extension offer in hand, as I said. So does Xander Bogaerts, trying to extend both. And again, if you're not here, Judge has agreed to an extension. I've been breaking this. They're trying to finalize it. This could take till after the season, but they're trying to get it done by the end of the day tomorrow. Or, excuse me, Wednesday. So, Joe Madden just mentioned something about the Angels. Oh, did you see Rodon finally looks happy for the Angels? Or Rondon, however you pronounce his name, their third baseman. If he has a big season, that'll really help them out. Ethan Roberts has made the Cubs opening day roster if you're a Cubs fan. Big time prospect making the Cubs roster. See how long he sticks around. I'm going to go ahead and send this over to Pete. There we go. No, that's not Simon. I have nothing to do with MLY News anymore. I host my own website. I handle everything now. Excuse me. Yeah, the Yankees are not done dealing. That something else is coming. I've been told that about 8 times today. To pay attention, the Yankees are probably making 2 more moves by opening day. I think one will be a free agent signing of a pitcher released. They started pitcher released. I think that's how the Yankees get their starter. Mets as well. I have done 4 bits for No, 6 bits for TMZ in the last 2 weeks. I have no clue when they'll air, and 2 for ESPN in the last week. I don't know when they'll air. If one aired last night, okay. I don't know when they'll air. All I know is they are pre-recorded bits. That's all I can say on that one. If the Yankees are on, offense is on, they'll be a top team. If the Yankees offense is on with the bats they have, they'll be scoring 6+ runs a game easy. And I think Josh Donaldson's presence will be more impactful than any of these shortstops would have been offensively. I don't think Devers is on the IL. That'd be a hilarious one. But yes, Seiya Suzuki's looking good. He is looking good, but he's looking at the weather forecast for Wrigley this weekend. He's never played temps below 5 degrees Celsius. That's 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Friday's high is 39 with snow. So keep an eye on that. How does Suzuki play in that kind of weather? That'd be hilarious, though, if Devers did hit the IL with a bruised nut. That would be hilarious. It'd be one of the weirdest injuries, funniest injuries out there. There have been some funny ones lately. And by the way, I'm the type before I'm going to put it out if I'm told it, so. Yeah, Conforto fumbled it. I don't buy his injury. I checked with the agent that represented me with Boris Corp back when I tried baseball. He told me he doesn't believe there is a Conforto injury. He's seen no medical stuff on Conforto that shows an injury. But he did note the history of injuries there. There is a history there. Cleveland makes a lot of sense for Conforto. So does the Cubs. So there's a few of them. And if you haven't noticed, MLB News is stealing my stories and stuff. Go take a look at their podcast about a week ago. I believe it was their Designated Spitters one. Exact same subject I had covered in my show that Saturday. Seiya Suzuki's with the Cubs. The Chicago Cubs, and he's a perfect fit there. One of the best fits of any team out there, and I think he can do that. And by the way, he does watch my show, so he could be silently watching this. If I ever go to Wrigley, I will meet him, take pictures with him. He'll give me a bat. Lots of fun stuff there. Conforto, kind of an enigma where he's going to go. No team wants to give up a draft for Conforto. That's why he's waiting. If he waits past May 1st, poof, goes the draft pick. Okay? And yeah, lots of people say to myself, Jim Bowden stole my Juan Soto story today. Did you see that? All of a sudden, he's talking about Soto to the Yankees and projecting that trade when I broke that news. Did you see that one today? Jim Bowden stealing my stuff? Very funny there. Even Ken Rosenthal stole one. He mentioned he said the TheKingSource brought this up first when he talked about live on Fox Sports. So he at least gave me a little bit of credit. That was about 2 weeks ago. So a lot of my information is getting confirmed. Everything, even Albert Pujols. So if Talking Jake does try to show my news, the judge is going to pull up Talking Jake plagiarism, and he stole my story and he stole stories from other people. And the fact that Talking Yanks and Talking Baseball, all John Boy Media, steal stuff from a whole bunch of networks all the time and gets away with it. So that lawsuit wouldn't get very well. Very rarely do I get credit. Very rarely. Mark Feinstein did it once. But yeah. Yeah, I've been saying, I first mentioned Juan Soto to the Yankees back in late January. That's when I was first told it was in the works. Pay attention to the prospects the Yankees have been highly touting all offseason. That's part of negotiations for potential trade. Don't be surprised if Dominguez and Volpe head to D.C. in this trade. And the Nationals, if they cannot extend him, will trade him this deadline. I don't think I'll sue Talking Jake. I'd have to pay too much money to an attorney and court fees to just get it into court. What's this? Don't be selling a PlayStation and a... Okay, Dodgers sent Yency Almonte, Reyes Moronta, Shane Green, former Yankee, Thomas Tellis, Tony Walters, Eddie Alvarez, Kevin Pillar, and Stefan Romano to minor league camp today. Some surprise names there. I thought for sure Walters, Pillar, and Green would make the Dodgers. My goodness. A lot of players heading to AAA that were not expected. By the way, Ronald Guzman accepted the Yankees AAA offer because he believes he'll be up at some point this season. I agree. Surprise for the Yankees, J.P. Sears made the roster. Another good lefty for the Yankees. It's awesome. Love seeing the Yankees having a young guy like that who could take the Rookie of the Year. It surprised everybody. A lefty who can't hit 100 miles an hour, J.P. Sears. If you're not hear about the suspensions today, 3 players. Dominican Rich Rodriguez. Yeah, that former closer, he's gone. 80-game suspension. Andy Santana, 80-game suspension. Jose Rondon, I'm not exactly sure who he is. I don't recognize the name. But he's suspended as well. So Ped suspensions are still happening. Actually, Jack Curry's attorney is trying to settle with me. And if that does happen, all I will announce is it was settled, and then we move on. You will never hear about money or anything like that. But Jack Curry's attorney is trying to settle with me. That is a belief around the game. What AJ Borelli is saying there about Brian Hoke. And it's not just Brian Hoke, it's 3 other reporters too, where they have my notifications on, so I tweet something, they steal it. Jim Bowden first brought that up to me, that he had noticed that I was saying something and others were saying it. So there's a belief around the game, other people are stealing that. Yeah, Jack Curry did show up to my website. He was checking it out. That happens when you have a business is starting to catch on. The big guys come check it. I don't watch the Yankees pregame ever. It's boring. It's boring. I just don't watch it. The Yankees are still looking for an outfield bat. It will not be Brett Gardner. He would have been signed already. Gardner is either going to... His belief is Gardner's retiring. And there one MLB executive had already filed the retirement papers that's just not announced. But he'll probably end up with an NL team, be my guess, with Gardner. So I'm not sure what you mean there, sports guy forever. I'm here on Yankees. As far as Conforto, the Yankees do love him, but they are worried about his injury history. Just had a tweet shared with me. If the Jets end up getting A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf this offseason and have a good draft, they might just win the AFC East. Yeah, right. Jets have no chance, period. And by the way, that's stealing what I said earlier today. It might have been yesterday, but whatever, I posted that the Jets were trying to DK Metcalf. That's another one. Now, by the way, my tweet today was 3rd time. And the Yankees just made it official with, it's announced the David McKay one. He gets a 40-man spot. He'll probably be a AAA, but he is on the 40-man roster. Look for him to pop up at some time quickly for the Yankees. So we'll go ahead and retweet that for everybody. By the way, I'm thinking about a new show. Let's do a poll for this one. Go ahead and vote on that. It's a new show I am thinking about doing every Monday afternoon. Just basically a sports free talk show. So go ahead and vote on that one. I just got something from one of my sources. I'm going to have to go check with her. And by the way, another one I was confirmed at. Who remembers when I said back in I think it was early December, Schwarber was going to the Phillies? And by the way, that press conference happened with Marcus Stroman. Go check it. It was on the radio. They released an article with everything. That happened. I retweeted it. It happened that Saturday, right when I said it would. That is out there. It's on Cubs radio and everything. He said, I've got to be true to myself and who I am, all of that, and announced it. So, and if that's a Free Talk Sports show, it'll be every Monday about 5 p.m., 5 to 6, where we just talk about anything sports. Anything. Mike Trout will never be a Dodger. He himself said that. Remember what I said back in December? I think it was early January, actually, this one. The Angels, if he has a healthy season, are thinking about trading him next offseason and working with him on where to go. He told them 2 teams, the Phillies and Yankees. The Yankees are more likely because the Phillies, I don't know how they would do it. I don't know who they would trade. Anything like that. So let's check over here with the source. Oh, a guy trying to say that Montes traded to the Yankees today. That's Yankees fan Earl. He has called moves before. I don't think this one is... Yankees are eyeing Montes now that Manaea is gone, but the Yankees more want a lefty, so they've asked about McKenzie Gore with the Padres and other lefties. They want a lefty between Cole and Sevy if they can do it. That is a huge advantage. That's why Pettit was so good as he was between righty aces. It helped him relax and be a better pitcher. Yeah, Frankie Fan Earl, don't believe him. Don't believe him. Tyrone Matthew is deciding between 4 teams and has decided to wait till the draft before making his final decision. That's the latest I have on him. But yeah, with Mike Trout, he's very likely to be a Yankee if traded. And how would you like an outfield of Soto in left field, Trout in center field, Judge in right field? That could happen. Of course, Gallo would be gone. Who knows where he would sign? So that's what to look for. Either Gallo will be back next offseason, and the Yankees will get Soto. One of those two guys will be left field in 2023. When Anthony Rizzo said today, he firmly believes he'll be back next year. He'll exercise his option and stay. Wishful thinking, but he'd like Friedman. That is the Dodgers GM, Friedman. To get Reynolds from Pitt before Preller and San Diego do. Dodgers aren't even trying. They're not even trying. I never once said I wanted to fight with Rachel Luba. I have too much respect for women to ever fight with a woman, but I've moved on from that. If you want to be friends or work with me, okay, I might. I'll be friends with that. Mike Tauchman is another good name to kind of keep an eye on. But before I get to him, let's get back to Reynolds for a second. The Padres are still working on a trade to get Reynolds. I still believe, as I was told and I reported, he does not get moved to the trade deadline. The Pirates will wait unless they get blown away with an offer. So, on Tauchman, why is he still a free agent? I'm surprised Yankees haven't grabbed him even just for AAA outfielder. The reason he wasn't good at San Francisco is that is an unbelievably unfriendly park to left-handed hitters unless you're Barry Bonds. So, there's 0% chance that is a Angels outfield. Juan Soto said if he's not traded to the Yankees, he'll wait to free agent and work a deal with the Yankees himself. Soto is going to the Yankees one way or another. Trout is going to be traded after this season if he plays well enough, has a healthy season. Angels want out of that contract. So that's why it's a likely, I won't guarantee it, but a likely one. And if that trade goes down, Hicks is gone in the trade to the Angels. So that's another reason that one could happen. Like if Rachel Luba asked me to be the official news outlet of Luba Sports, I'd sign that contract and work with her. I have nothing against Rachel Luba anymore. I've moved on. I realized where I was wrong, and I realized where she was wrong, and there's no reason in either of us being mad anymore. Just move on. Another one I did not include. I was thinking about it. The Mets cannot find takers for Dominic Smith or J.D. Davis. Nobody will take them. They've tried all kinds of trades, just could not do it. By the way, I broke the Padres-Mets trade falling apart. Wonder how many of you saw that one. I was the one that broke that. Jay Bruce retired. I thought he was a perfect fit for the Yankees, but like 3 or 4 years too late. The Yankees did it just too late. I was hoping he'd have a great season, just be a fun story. Big problem with the Pirates players, they do crumble under the pressure once they get traded out. Adam Frazier just got traded to the Mariners. So he went to the Padres and got traded to the Mariners. See how he does with the Mariners. Rich Rodriguez just got suspended. Yeah, for some reason they do. But I think Jameson Taillon will have a big year with the Yankees. A big year. Okay, so next Monday I think we'll launch that new just free talk show. And yeah, we can talk about all things sports just once a week. And that one will kind of take the place of the football and basketball shows because it's too hard to launch them. We can combine them into that one. Got about 18 more minutes till I have to be off at 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. I have to be off then. Finish my dinner, then I've got a party I'm going to at 7. My time, 9 Eastern. So, now I've been asked, why don't we see a lot of switch hitters in the game? I was asked like 8 times this past week. Switch hitting is not easy unless you're, as I was and am, a natural switch hitter. Musgrove was suspicious when he left. He was a number 3 starter, goes to San Diego, and out of nowhere is number 1 starter. That's suspicious. And Cole, we know he's using spider attack, but it looks like he has figured out a new way to pitch and be an ace without it. So keep that one in mind. Straight up rigging the selection process. I know 2 men on the selection committee, and they told me they purposely rigged it to keep BYU before the program's out. It's a rigged process. That's why BYU's not in there. But anyways, getting back to this. Didi is going to stay with the Phillies, be their starting shortstop. But he will be battling out their young shortstop. I cannot remember his name. But Didi's going to stick around. He only has 1 year left on his contract, I believe. He's free agent after this year. So, yeah, that makes a little more sense. But what happens to Jose Altuve? First few years of his career, he's a switch hitter. batting about 250 both sides. He only goes right-handed, all of a sudden he's batting well over 300. That's not how baseball works. That's literally possible. But, yeah, very few switch hitters get really good. I was a natural, but I always batted switch hitting growing up. It was weird to me not to bat on both sides, but I'm ambidextrous. So it's weird for me not to do anything with both hands, okay? Also, I think I wanted to point out, have you noticed how many views I'm getting lately? I'm getting at least 100 views per video. And most views are post lives. Like all my lives are over 200-300, but it's post live where I get those, and it's awesome to get those. Kevin Youkilis, I never liked at all. He was a ped user, no ped user, only good due to peds. And he showed that with the Yankees where he had a good spurt that got injured the rest of the season. So the best switch hit of the game, getting back to this, would probably be Brian Reynolds. Jasson Dominguez is in Major League camp right now. He showed up today. And he'll be there through tomorrow. Are the Yankees thinking about having him on the big league roster? What is going on? I picked Duke to win it all, by the way, for the NCAA tournament, but yeah. But what's going on? Why is Jasson Dominguez in big league camp? He just shows up today. He's available. No, I'm not buying subscribers. I was thinking about just get above stuff. I was not. The Jack Curry attacked me. They started going up and going, I'm going to see where this goes. Now it's somewhere around 1,500 right now. When you get attacked by somebody that famous, you can gain thousands of subscribers just because of that attack. Because people can find you, see how good your stuff is, and they keep subscribing. And when you get the kind I have, the growth I am, the more you have, the more likely you're going to get people to subscribe and they show up new to your channel. So that's what's going on. And I kind of agree. I think UNC used up all their luck and everything last night or Saturday against Duke. I think they're going to come out flat. But Jasson Dominguez could be the next great switch hitter, so could Roderick Arias. Keep Roderick Arias in mind. He could make Volpe expendable, how he plays this year. And let the Yankees chuck Volpe and Dominguez at the Nationals to go get Juan Soto. So, and by the way, Clark Schmidt is still with the Yankees. He has not been sent down. Has he made the roster? He made the bullpen? Gil and, what's his name? David Garcia got sent down. No, you know how much that cost? To buy 1,000 subscribers is $1,000. To buy the 1,300 likes I've gotten is $2,000. To buy the over 10,000 views I've gotten last month would cost about $25,000. I don't have that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money. Yeah, how many of you saw the video? First week of February, I perfectly predicted where Freeman, Rizzo, and Olsen would all end up. It's, I've sources in the games, and it's football and baseball are where my best sources are. My NBA source was the Jazz were sold to Ryan Smith, who I found out is my cousin through a different line. I lost my sources with NBA, and that one kind of crumbled. I still have sources that was not as good. But another thing is there's no package of subscribers I could have bought that would have me to 1,400 right now. If you know how those packages work. The packages are 100, 500, 1,000, 5,000. There's no package I could have bought that would have had me at 1,400 right now. So, the Blue Jays are not going to win the AL East. The Blue Jays do not have the pitching or the hitting. I think they'll average about 5 runs a game, but they're going to struggle a lot against good pitchers. I have broken some NHL news. I have. That's right. I've dropped a few of them. And one of my sources there, I don't know if you know his name, but Rod Miller. I knew him. I played professional street hockey with him as my coach when he played for the Salt Lake Grizzlies. He then went up to Avalanche for a few years and then retired when in the front office. I'm still in contact with him, so I can break some NHL news. I do agree with the White Sox AL Central. They're my pick. And AJ Burley, I agree. I'll get to that in a minute. Just a second. Wow, I don't know what's going on with my voice. But the Astros have no chance in the West without Correa. With Correa gone, they're going to win 80 games, 85 max. They might be a wild card team. They have no chance to win that division. It'll be Mariners or Rangers, and Mariners eking it out. White Sox win division easily. Yankees are going to win the AL East. And you can't have White Sox in the AL Central and in the wild card, bud. But for WWE, it was hilarious. Several people did videos proving the McMahon stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin rigged. that everything with that Pat, whatever his name is, rigged. It was ridiculous. It was funny. I agree. People are massively overestimating the Mets, especially with injuries to both DeGrom and Scherzer. They're not going to be above 500 come the All-Star break if those guys aren't pitching. They'll be 20 games below 500 without them. I used to really love WrestleMania back when they had the great stars. When Stone Cold was young. Goldberg, Kane, Undertaker, Big Show, and The Rock, and they actually had the good ones. That's when I loved it. I don't like it anymore. I don't like WWE at all anymore. But by the way, there are 3 wildcard teams this year. Keep that in mind. There's now, or 3 wildcard teams. Because now 6 teams, each league making it. So, by the way, 21 years ago today, Ichiro had his first career MLB hit. So there's a little bit of a MLB thing for you. All right, so next Monday, I will get all the graphics made of this week, and then we'll do our Free Talk Sports Show every Monday about 5 p.m. We'll make that an annual show for the channel. I did not watch WrestleMania. I saw some highlights of it. People sent it to me, but I did not watch it. So Bassett struggled his only start with the Mets. He did struggle. I'd never do anything with UFC. I hate sports. It's all about injuring somebody. And I'm actually trained where I could fight in UFC if I wanted to because I'm a black belt, taekwondo, and karate. So all I have to do is go get a little bit of training in a third martial art, then I could do it. I will never do it. I got mine for self-defense if I ever need it. No, I haven't used it much, but I've used it a few times. Cubs beat the White Sox 15-9. Any pitching in that game? That's kind of funny. All offense, no pitching. I think we're going to see a lot of games like that, by the way, as well, where both teams get to 10-plus runs. Yes, there will be 2 wild card games on each side between the number 3 division winner and the 3 wild cards. The number 3 division winner will get the 4th or the 3rd wild card, and then the other 2 go against each other. And then they battle out, and they go against the 1 and 2 division winners. So it will be 2 3-game series for those 2. I don't think I'll ever cover Mexican baseball. It's just not something I'm interested in because I cannot stand hearing Spanish commentary. If they did it in English, I might. I understand Spanish, and that's why I hate Spanish commentaries. I can understand what they're saying and how dumb, best way I could put it, bad English it is. This is from a Dodgers fan, Cody. Ohtani Goat. Dodgers could start like 2018 or just cruise. We'll see. I will say, though, this is the worst performance I've seen from the Dodgers spring training in recent memory. Keep in mind, the team that's been the worst in spring training the last 10 years has made the playoffs. I can say that much. That dude's got Natalie Portman in her Princess Amidala stuff on his profile picture. That's funny. He doesn't know who he likes. Let's get back here, check questions. I haven't watched WWE in about 10 years. I've never watched UFC. And I only watched WWE back when I knew a guy that was on it. But yeah. There's not 500 billion people in the country. There's no way they could get that. 500 million? Okay, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, there was a broken neck there a while ago at WWE. That is true. There was a broken neck there. That one is true. Cricket, I hate cricket. I played cricket. I played it professionally once because my dad went to England on his LDS mission. Brought bats back and the sport back. I played it. I despise cricket. It is a dumb take on baseball. It was created about 60 years after baseball, based off baseball. There's no way to get 500 billion views in anything. There's no way because there's only 7 billion people on the planet. There's no possible way to get anything in the billions of views. So that one is WWE paying networks to fake it, to lie. Thoughts on San Francisco, the Giants? Minus Buster Posey and Kevin Gallows, but their best 2 players last year, I see him falling off a cliff. Pickleball is actually pretty fun, but I haven't played it. If I end up playing it or find a group to play it, I will televise some of that. So, or stream it, I should say. Not pancakes. Been eating that stuff. It is chili with rice. It's really good, and it is homemade chili spiced to be really good. So, we had pancakes the other day, though. Look at the pitching matchups. Look at the pitching matchups between the Yankees and Red Sox this opening series. Yankees should sweep it. Soccer's another sport I hate. I cannot stand a sport that can end 0-0. I can't stand it. And that is geared to end 0-0. Soccer is. TheKingSource or Mr. King works. Don't mind either. Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, that was just a source telling me they expect at least 5 more trades before opening day around baseball. John Heyman, that's nothing. He's just commenting on somebody else. How many of you noticed how bad John Heyman and Bob Nightingale have been with player moves last year? I mean, it's been bad. Disney's stock has tanked over 90% in the last week, if that tells you anything. So, I've got getting off here in a few minutes. Been a very fun show, one of the funnest in a while. And remember, we're going to have 2 live shows every week now. The Above Average Baseball show every Saturday. And during the season, I'll be breaking down the standings, saying what teams do good, bad, anything like that. And then Mondays, we'll just talk anything sports. It'll just be anything sports. I won't have subjects. We'll just talk. And I will have graphics made for it. And it will look different than what you're seeing there. So that's Mark's Feinsand. The cat is somewhere out here. I don't know where she's at. She's probably under the blankets back there. Feinsand actually follows TheKingSource. He likes what I do. He likes my work. He is not the insider giving me advice, but he has given me advice. He's not really insider. He's not really that level. So, oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. Justice said there. They've made it so Sunday games have to basically be morning now. They've moved them up a little bit so they do not conflict with Sunday Night Baseball anymore. The Red Sox have pitching issues, so Feinsand did have weight problem. I don't know if he still does, but he did at one point. He was about 350 pounds. About 3 or 4 years ago, he lost a bunch of weight. Red Sox, Sevy, if he is on, will go 6 scoreless against the Red Sox. Easy. So the Yankees, if you look at those pitching matchups, the Yankees have Cole, Sevy, and Montgomery. This is Mittens. I've had her since she was 5 weeks old. Nursed her and her sister back up. Their sister since died. But yeah. The Red Sox have Eovaldi. And I'm not sure how they're going to do the next 2. I would think they'd have Rich Hill and then Waka. But no matter how the Red Sox do it, the Yankees have the pitching advantage. Should take 2 or 3 without even trying. And this, it depends on rainouts and that kind of thing. So, that's what I was mentioning. The Red Sox have not decided after Eovaldi. Eovaldi gets opening day, but they've not really decided the next 2. So, yeah. On that one, AJ, there's going to be a skit coming out. I know they'll come with stuff in the next 2 weeks. Of me calling Pete out into a fight. It's just for fun. The fight's not going to happen. That said, due to my karate taekwondo training, I could immobilize Pete within seconds. Even with his stuff. But that's not how we do it. The dog died last year. Don't have a dog anymore. The dog died last year. But that's not what I got martial arts training for. I got it so I could defend me and girls and kids. Anybody that really needed defending. So I can keep people around me safe. That's why I got it. So. And Simon Eddy, what is going on with him? Anybody that says anything he doesn't like, he's just attacking. Just straight up attacking is weird. And Pete told me his dad is in the mob in New York. I didn't know there was a mob anymore. But I'm not afraid of anybody. Yeah, we had the dog for 13 years. She died last year of old age. She was a Chow Lab mix. Chows usually only lived 9 to 11 years. Labs only about 10 to 12. So she outlived both of her breeds. But yeah. It was sad for a while, but I've gotten over it. It's the second time I've had a dog that we had her whole life die in my lifetime. So I was prepared for it this time. Put it that way. But it's time for me to end this show. We talked about a lot of things. What in the world is that doing up? The freak? Right there. A lot of information. We went through everything. I hope you had a fun time. We'll be back this coming Saturday for the Above Average Baseball Show, then the following Monday for the Above Average Free Talk Sports Show, where we just talk about everything. And I'll get the graphics made for that. Then over the next week and everything, we'll get going on that one. And it'll just be a fun time to have another live show, to have 2 of them going. So have a great day, everybody. I'll try to fun at my party. We're playing, what's it called? Human Foosball. I'm not sure how that's going to go. We'll see. So it should be fun. This has been The King Source. Remember, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, drop a like on the video, comments,